I thought we bonded, okay?
Yeah, I'm legit, you guys. Why? Sometimes you're probably right. Join the fun. So it'll be Kitty's birthday and sort of like a party for everybody.
I'll take a hold of my heart. What a feeling is believing. I can't have it all. I was dancing for my life. Take your passion and make it happen. Just come alive, you can dance right through your life. Now I hear the music, close my eyes, I am real. In the flash, it takes hold of my heart. What a feeling is believing. I can't have it all. I was dancing for my life. Take your passion and make it happen. Pictures come alive, you can dance right through your life. What a feeling. What a feeling is believing. Pictures come alive, you can dance right through your life. What a feeling. What a feeling. I can have it all. Have it
It makes it perfect because I got a
Cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm gonna give you my heart. Cause you're a sky full of stars. Cause you light up the park. I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do. Cause in the sky full of stars, I think I saw you. I don't care if you wanna tear me apart. I don't care if you do. Cause in a sky full of stars, I think I see you. I think I see
On camera and everything, on camera and everything. On camera and
your sky, your sky.
11:03. I'm waiting on everybody to settle down.
guys, go grab your lunch and then come back in here and get started.
You can sit on you can sit on out there. I can work around anything. What do you guys seeing in orders?
I mean, we're still pretty strong. I mean, it's compared to last year, but like as an outlier year, last year, in the late 2020, you know, we're about 2% down. So I mean, there's a little bit of a slowdown, but I mean, it's gonna happen.
Well, I think what's important, right? This is one thing I'm gonna bring to this meeting is that, you know, we're in such a business where it doesn't pay to be negative, and I get that, right? But we're in a moment where it pays to be real, and I think more people need to see vulnerability around companies.
Sure.
Just
Instead
how
of
long-
like, yeah, it's a bright outlook, everything's
That's right. Exactly. I have more respect for someone that says, "Hey, listen, our business is down 22%. Here's a step we're taking."
Yeah.
Because you're not the only one.
Yeah, exactly.
And so many people take that performance personally. Like, "Oh, we're down 8%." Like, you can't do anything. It's the market. Like,
Yeah.
it happens.
I mean, it's cyclical. It happens.
Because what happens is you're sitting in these rooms as an individual agent, and you start to think it's you. And listen,
Well, sometimes.
but you know, nobody wants to be alone.
Yeah. You know, bottom line dropout, mortgages are much more heavily.
Yep. I don't think we're having issues.
You're gonna get people.
Yeah.
What you want.
Oh, God.
And not just like, the deal is you're getting a house, you know, now it can be, oh, we're actually, there's a give and take. The sellers aren't entitled assholes.
Right.
You know?
Well, and the other thing too I've seen it pop up and sell every fall.
Yeah.
And we've got one. Have you been talking with Taylor Thompson or is that the first?
No, yeah, it's with
The buyer is considered suing for damages. So
oh, because their rate lock expired or what happened?
Yeah, that's what goes on right there. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not necessarily saying anyone, hey, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a $300,000 delta over 30 years of interest.
Sure, you're right, but.
I know.
Unless there's a seller.
No, the seller default.
What do they do? I mean, what they do?
They just said we're not closing, period. The deal was done.
So what,
Great.
like,
No. It was 100%. What happened was the buyers were getting divorced and they couldn't agree on how to split it. Their names, both of them were on every PNS, every event, all the way to the end. So they were basically.
Good morning.
People do that all the time.
Y'all can't continue to talk.
Oh, we're
after I did that. You're back. Good morning, everybody. How is it going? Splendid. Okay, where's my, oh, my kisses. Who's been doing the kisses? Yeah. Y'all.
I can do it.
Not true. Oh my goodness. That is nice. Colleen definitely did kisses. Oh, Colleen did kisses. My God, what is Roswell office coming to when we can't do kisses? I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
COVID.
All right, tell me something good. Give me something you're grateful for. Who's grateful for something? What is it, Brian? First day of summer. Summer solstice.
Honest day.
Woo! Hot. All right.
You're back in the house, Robin. That's what we're grateful for.
I'm good. All right, somebody else, something you're grateful for. I saw several hands go up. Several hands went up. Colleen.
I am grateful to have Dustin Shaw here with us today, who just completed his K-score.
Yeah.
So now we get actually two kisses for that one. Yeah, I know. I probably should have done that, but I did. All right. And we're so glad you're here, Dustin. We're so glad you're here.
Yeah, and
Congratulations.
all Dustins are great. so.
All of Dustin up here. All right, I saw one more. Give me one more hand.
Go ahead.
Now?
No, go ahead.
I'm just thankful that Robin's.
Yeah. Which clicker?
I love you too. And we're grateful. Raven is back. She was out last week. Raven is back. We got the team back together. You guys, this really, we just need to do a big. Can we just? I know all of our team is not in here. Can we all stand up and give a huge round of applause for the team that runs this office? That was for you. This standing ovation was for you and Aaron and Raven and Lee. Yeah. For the ALC, Fiona Jane, everybody that ran team meetings while I was gone, pretty amazing. That's what I could do this whole thing just for gratitude for that. All right, give me one more thing you're grateful for, Chris.
My sales squad. I asked them for some help and they stepped up and it was blowing out a lot for the month. They're killing it. They're
Awesome.
absolutely killing it.
Whoop, whoop.
Thank you guys.
I'm slow rolling, we're not coming in hot, slow rolling.
Good short hot pitch.
Hey. Yeah, we got a bouncer. Okay, you guys, you are in for it. Thank you for being here. Hello on Zoom. I'll give you all the kisses on Zoom. Anybody grateful for something on Zoom that you want to share? Okay.
Hey, Robin, it's just one. Hey, Robin, it's Precious.
Precious. Give us some love, Precious.
Hey, listen, Robin, I'm grateful that you're back. Okay, I am so grateful because you are a huge part of this team and you're certainly a huge motivation for me coming and being part of the team. So I'm grateful to God for your good health and your return.
Thank you so much, Precious. I adore you. Thank you so much.
Hey, Robin.
Yes.
It's Tisha.
Hey.
Glad to have you back as well. I just want to say that I am grateful for life and I am grateful for health and I am grateful to not take those things for granted. Even sometimes it's easy to do so.
Yep, amen. Good word, good word. That's hashtag truth right there. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. You guys are amazing. You are in for a real special treat. How many of you have enjoyed hearing from other people on Tuesday mornings? No, this is nothing against me. Raise your hands. Have you appreciate? You see, I love that. I love it because this guy knows totally something different than I know. And this is a team, so I'm going to keep this running. When Colleen did the team meeting, do you guys want that? I'm going to keep it going, that other people are giving, you know, they're coming in and they're giving of their time in on team meetings. Everybody game?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm still going to be doing team meetings, but we got the team that's also going to be doing that because we all learn from different perspectives, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. You're in for a real treat because Dustin is going to bring it. Because when Dustin gets up to speak, He's like this Energizer bunny, and he's gonna bring that, Alex is
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yes, would you like to try to wrangle the Energizer bunny?
Oh, yeah.
Who wants Alex's job?
Here we go. Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Be careful. Your boss is here. All right, so guys, Dustin Kimberley is in the house. You're gonna learn lots and lots of great things. And thank you for being here. Enjoy Dustin Kimberley. It's all you.
Let's get started. All right, guys, you ready? All right, raise your hand if you need more listings. All right, just wanted to make sure. Raise your hand if you need more business. All right, so we're going to focus today because today is going to be an action-packed meeting. We're going to go through some vendor partners that are going to be some tools that can help us all succeed in this shifting market. And today, my goal, right, is to get us out of here with 2 or 3 things that we can all do right now to improve and impact our business. Are you with me?
Yes. Yeah.
Woo! Okay, are you with me?
Yes.
Woo! All right, one more time. Are you with me?
Yes.
Woo! You can stand up and dance. I'll do it. All right. First, we're going to start off with our alliance partners here. I don't know, is the shelter team here today?
They aren't in today, but they wanted to share that they're having a class coming up that you can sign up for.
Okay.
It's the economic review of the year and kind of where we're headed with the market. So if you'd like to come to that class, please click to register. I believe they are going to have lunch. So make sure you register so there's nothing.
Guys, the amazing thing about our alliance partners, right, which is different, is we got married to them, right? They contribute to the office. They're here to help everyone succeed. So when you're having a tough moment or you're having a tough mortgage conversation, get them in touch with Kathy, right? If you have a buyer that needs to be pre-qualified, get them in touch with Kathy. Use these alliance partners because they're here for you every step of the way. Okay, guys? Next up, we have, I don't know if, I think I have the clicker. Sorry, I have Canlin Brand. Are they here today?
I don't know.
Has anybody seen them
Are they showing up?
today? Okay, guys, obviously, big shout out to Spencer and his team. We're gonna give them a couple minutes and they are gonna go over some contract changes.
Yes,
Mid-year
yes.
contract changes.
Mid-year contract changes. God, I gotta keep the energy up. Woo! Mid-year contract changes. This stuff is super exciting, you guys. You know how we like it.
I'm gonna move it over here.
So, really, I just wanted to have a little aside before I get into the super exciting
there's a
couple of
handout?
sentences change. Yeah, wow, yeah, we do it up. We do it up. So, guys, I am not Jake. I am Spencer, by the way. So just FYI, I am probably less energetic than Jake, honestly. But I just wanted to say one little aside before we get started. I was just talking to Dustin, and with the market shifting a little bit, I'm really excited to see negotiations come back. I really am. You guys are going to show your mettle as good agents by actually negotiating contracts again. I know we haven't seen that in a while. It's just, what can we give you? Here's our kid. Here's a beach house. Here's whatever. Just please God, let us get this house.
Sky Miles.
It's going to
I've
go.
heard
Yeah,
Sky Miles.
I've seen it.
People have been putting
yep.
Sky Miles in
Yep.
contract.
So yeah, that's actually kind of clever.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I think it's a good thing for.
All right, meeting over.
So, okay, into the real fun stuff. Okay, so we got a couple of changes, and it's really just talking about some stuff on your seller brokerage agreements. It talks about commissions, and really this stuff's pretty minor. I know Jake went over with you guys for the lead-based paint and this VA contingency stuff, so I'm going to be in and out of your hair here real quick. There's a change on the seller brokerage agreement. It just added a sentence basically saying that if the agreement doesn't show the seller's broker paying the cooperating broker, there's no obligation on the seller to pay the cooperating broker then. So just specifically, if you're not having that listed in the seller brokerage agreement, that's saying you're not responsible for, paying the buyer broker. We've got the exclusive and non-exclusive buyer brokerage agreement. It adds that if offered by seller or seller's broker, the buyer's broker may be paid more than the commission agreed upon in section A4B, and the closing attorney will collect and disperse that commission. So I'm sure this happens to you guys all the time in today's market. They're offering your buyer's agent a lot more, right? Because people aren't very cost conscious right now, right? So maybe with the shift in this, they're trying to anticipate that. I have seen ones that sit for a while and they'll offer a bonus or something like that. This is saying that in this, you can get paid more. So it's kind of nice. They're trying to protect the buyer's agents there. Another change we have is just in the PSA, seller's contribution can cover buyer's commission obligations. So, many times we'll see, maybe not as far as the, 6% or something, but there'll be like a flat portion. Sometimes I'll see, like 2.5, this or that. As long as you guys know what it is, if there's a lender involved with the lender's permission, but you can apply seller paid closing costs to any obligation the buyer might have to cover a commission now. So that's specifically stating that. But again, the hurdle might be, of course, if you have a loan, you're going to want to talk to your lender and get the green light on that first, because they're the, arbiter.
So what you're
of that.
saying is a buyer can increase their closing cost. And if the seller's only offering 2.5% to a buyer's agent, they can take that seller's closing cost and make up the difference. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. So if a seller's contributing, yes, they can contribute to anything that, let's say, the buyer's covering a portion of the commission.
Okay.
They can cover that part with seller paid closing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And what my example was, many times when I see that, it's normally that flat fee or
Gotcha.
something, your $250
Gotcha.
broker fee.
So like if
whatever.
a seller only offers like a 1% flat fee,
Mhm.
then, the buyer's agents, we need to eat, don't we?
Mhm.
Right? Then allows that buyer to put that
Yep.
effectively kind of a loan, right? Through,
Essentially,
Got it,
yes,
got it,
yes.
got it.
So, that's, it's nice little things they're adding. And again, this all has to be agreed to by the lender if there's a lender involved. Okay, I know Jake did this FHA. And then the only other thing I wanted to bring up today is just the instructions to closing attorney. They've added a new paragraph in this. It used to just have two after this little general section here at the end. They added a third C, which frankly, if you guys can figure out the intent here, I would be all ears. But the closing attorney is directed to show the above referenced commission on the settlement statement and to collect the same as precondition to the parties closing on the purchase and sale of the property, so long as the same is permitted by the buyer's mortgage lender, if any. We already always put that on the settlement statement. So I don't know do you guys have a situation?
Doesn't have any reference to the lender in that language, though. I think they may be trying to add the lender in there for confirmation.
Yeah, I mean, it does add that, but I mean, this would always be something, I mean, I can't imagine a situation.
You guys
where the
already do
lender
this.
would not allow us to put the commission on the seller's settlement statement.
Well, if anybody has this come up, let us know. We'll talk about it. Next
Yeah,
week.
I'd love to parse through this with you guys to figure out the intent here. But main idea is they just added a couple of things for clarification for the commissions. They added some additional wiggle room for seller paid closing costs. And they've added a couple of little protections in the very common instance where you get a bonus as the buyer's agent, which I'm saying with as much sarcasm as I can muster. So that's really it, guys. If you have any questions on these changes or just, the implications or how you should utilize them, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to take, phone calls, emails, and just sort of shoot the breeze.
I do have a
Yes,
question,
ma'am.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Raise your hand if you've ever had a seller default and not show up to closing. I have. They just decided not to show up to closing. I mean, that sounds crazy, right? We've had a recent series of this happening where sellers have just decided, hey, listen, interest rates are crazy out there. If I sell this one and I take that equity and put it in the next one, I'm going to be exposed to a much higher interest rate. I'm just not going to show up at closing. Can you walk them through what happens when that happens? The seller just doesn't show up.
Well, the seller's in default at that point, and there are two interested groups that can sue the seller. It is both the buyer for what they call specific performance,
Okay.
Saying you were under contractual obligation to sell this property. A judge can make an order to actually sell the property. It's rare that they're going to issue a actual specific performance, but it is more common when they're making the seller sell to a buyer rather than the other way around. You're
Can the
basically
buyer force the seller to sell?
Yes, and that's called specific performance. So
Okay.
it means instead of a remedy as far as damages go, you have a remedy that is forcing someone to do something via the law. So that's called an equitable, instead of monetary damages, you're getting an equitable settlement to the case. So that means you are making them do that. And you rarely get it where a seller can sue a buyer to make them buy a place.
Right.
But occasionally I have seen judges grant specific performance in the opposite. So
But
it can
oftentimes, what are damages limited to when the buyer doesn't perform?
liquidated damages as far as the your earnest money goes.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So, that's you've got that as who's going to sue, and then you have the agents, they're entitled to their commission.
How do
And
you go
I've seen-
about getting them? I mean, you just go to the seller and say, give me my money?
Well, yeah, typically you call me and we commiserate for a minute, and then I can, get somebody to issue a demand letter for you. And you can say, this is all right. There's the legal way, which you take them formally to court and you sue them. But you also let me give you a recommendation for a litigation attorney that'll say, look, this is what litigation is going to cost you. They're entitled to this. You left the contract based on a non-allowed reason. Do you really want to spend $30,000 to save $20,000? So
So you
But
gotta look at the cost, right?
exactly, it's
So like
a
if you
cost
were,
benefit.
so if you were like coaching an agent around this, how do they find that balance, right? Because obviously they're in the right
Sure.
and a commission is due.
Mhm.
So like, and then the other question I have is if that buyer goes out and buys another home, do they get paid twice? One is from the first transaction that didn't close and then that buyer?
Technically, they would be entitled because especially if it's gonna be on the seller. Now, that is also, it's risk reward kind of thing.
Sure.
It depends on what you want to do. Now, a lot of times, and we know how this industry is, guys. It's fast paced. You're always moving on to the next thing. You're always putting more people in your pipeline because, for every 50 you put in, how many come out at the end, right? So a lot of times I don't see folks pursue it just because of practical reasons, but you do have the legal right to pursue your commission if somebody just bails at the end of a transaction. And we have seen that before.
Now, is that? Agent cannot.
Yes, they would be on
That's
behalf
right.
of your
Yeah,
broker.
that's
Yes.
right, yeah.
Determine whether or not your brokerage will do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, you do have the legal right to pursue that when it's, when they leave for a non-allowed reason, essentially. Just saying, oh, well, I changed my mind. That's not a
Right.
legally available reason to terminate a
And
contract.
guys, I'm bringing this up because today's topic is all about where we're going, not where we've been. Okay, and for those of you that have been in the business, right, for less than 3 or 4 years, the next couple of years is going to be different than anything you've seen. So it's always good to have resources like Spencer that in the event something like this comes up, don't freak out, don't lose your mind, call Spencer and ask him about what's going on and let him walk you through it, because that's why we have these alliance partners to help us through these times. So it'd be okay if people called you?
Absolutely. I want you guys to call me with issues.
Perfect.
Just fun ones, not hard ones. No, I'm just kidding. I do have, I had one more question. What's going on?
It's just this first one, I'm sorry, to belabor it, but they know here that I deal with a lot of bank stuff,
Mhm.
broker, but I'm also still selling. This top box is opening up Pandora's box to so many unscrupulous.
I agree.
agents
I agree.
that my phone is gonna be like a hot potato and just gonna be thrown in the pool. Because I cannot imagine, but I can sadly.
Sure.
Imagine that there's gonna be some rather unscrupulous agents who don't have the negotiating power to stand up for themselves and say, hey, the commission is 6%, Mr. Seller.
Mhm.
And the seller says, no, I only want to give 3, and they go, oh, okay then. And then they go and write this in here, and then comes to pass that the buyer's broker is not getting the payment. And they can stand back on this and say, well, it's in my listing agreement, I don't have to pay you.
Yeah, they do have the contractual little loophole here, I'd say. GAR doesn't always do my favorite changes, and, they constantly are kind of evolving this. That's why we have these mid-year ones. I would think if there is a big hoopla about this, they're gonna change it back, or they're gonna massage the language to sort of say it a little bit differently, because I do think this sets up a bad precedent.
So what
Now-
I'm nuts. So then what I'm possibly hearing is back to what we did in the past, is you didn't send an offer in unless you have the instructions to close an attorney right on top of it. So
Right.
Yeah,
now,
And people thought that was a little bit crass.
no, you have to do that.
look, you guys are professionals. You don't work for free.
Yeah.
We have to go back to that.
Or you
Yeah.
can write it in special sticks, so everybody and their mother can see it.
So Fiona, what if it's in the MLS and showing that they need 3%?
That's a different matter altogether.
Yeah,
Even
contract
though it
is
says
independent from
3%.
MLS.
That's a
Even though they're,
different
even
matter
though the
altogether.
agent is.
So this is addressing stuff off the
It says
market.
in the bottom.
You guys can do
that
that.
everything will
contract
be
process.
verified.
I don't think we're doing a
All these
mid-year
reliable
contract
and
class,
not
but we
guaranteed
do,
is what it said on every contract.
we do a big one every year. We can put something.
So guys, here's what, I just talked to Spencer about this, right? How would you guys all like to maybe spend an hour with Spencer via Zoom and or here, right? To learn more about these mid-year contract changes.
That was for.
Well, there's your interest, right?
Okay, yeah.
So
Did
Spencer,
you guys fit in
I don't think
here,
there's-
or-
that's perfect.
Doesn't look like there's a lot of interest, so.
Yeah, right.
have his own team meeting.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well, can everyone please give a big round of applause for Spencer? You got it, of course.
I'm gonna go sit down in the
All right, so
gallery.
we knocked out Spencer, well, not all the way, but we'll do that. So, let's see, did we move those? Are you moving it? or
You're
am I?
going backwards, I'm going forwards. Shocker.
All right, okay, cool.
There you go.
All right, and the, okay, good. All right, good. Kelly LaKinda here today? No, all right, home warranties, guys, they're great for your sellers, they're great for your buyers, right? You can put them in as incentives. I know that our sellers haven't had to pay for them for a while because basically sellers have been 100% in charge of everything. But you are gonna start seeing these creep back into contracts. It's a great tool for your buyers. And I believe, I don't know if Kelly's here or not, but I believe we have the program where any current listing you have, it's a complimentary home warranty. So if anything breaks during the listing period, they can call Kelly and their team and they can get it fixed for a trade fee. We just had that happen. Someone listed a home, they had a dishwasher issue. We have a home warranty on there that's free at no cost to them. So also when you're out there winning listings, that's a big opportunity, right? Hey, Twee, you want to list your home with us? By the way, if anything breaks in the next 90 days, it's covered under our home warranty program. Here's that call. That's how you win clients for life.
Except the HVAC.
Except an HVAC. There you go, right? Thank you for
They
that.
will replace the coil on those though, if it is in good working order before the listing period. It has to be in good working order. They'll always try to repair for it first and then replace. And yeah, if it doesn't close, your person doesn't pay anything. If you got a $700 fridge that needs to be replaced and the property doesn't close, they don't pay anything. They're also doing a lock program.
Oh,
Where
wonderful.
your locks can be replaced for the buyers.
That's great. Which, by the way, right? I mean, I've been selling for almost 10 years now. How many of your homeowners actually change the keys when they buy a home? I mean, like, I mean, you think about it, right? No, for some reason, a lot of, that's crazy, right? That's interesting, right? So closing gift is for buying you all new toilets, right? That's great. All right, big thank you to our vendor sponsor, our lunch sponsor. I think it's Amanda Fisher with Contour Med Spa. Amanda, are you here?
Yes.
All right, you want to come up and give a little plug?
Elaine, the owner's going to.
All right, come on up. Let's do it.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Here it is.
So I'm a realtor just like you.
Okay.
During COVID, I decided I needed a side hustle. I had a great year. I killed it. I spent 25 grand on realtor.com. It does work. Had the biggest year I've had and I was burned out. Went out to California, decided to like do something I've never done in self-care. When I was out there, I worked out 6 hours a day. I literally lost 22 pounds in 12 days, 6 hours a day are working out. And then every other day I got to go to a different spa. Never been to a spa in my life. Okay. Then all of a sudden I got back to Alpharetta, Georgia. And I was like, oh, you know, I feel refreshed. I feel great. I'm gonna start self-caring. Cause like, I know you guys are beating the street. You're like, it's exhausting. You work 7 days a week. You know, it's nights, weekends, it's horrible, right? So I get back, I can't find anything nice enough or bougie enough or beautiful enough. So I'm showing a client a commercial space and he's like, you know, this is a dump. And I was like, it really is. But the light bulb went off in my head and was like, I'm gonna start this spa. So here I am a year later. I just had my 1 year anniversary. You can clap now. But I did it and we do everything. We do Botox, fillers. We have a thread artist. I just did under eye threads to get rid of my bags. Amazing, amazing. This is why I have a little bruise. Okay, but this is a week later. I'm covering with purple eyeshadow, which I would never wear, but here we are. I do cryo sculpting, which helps your stomach area. We can thread your arms. We have radio frequency, which helps, you know, it helps underarm. We can chisel your jawline. Obviously, we do all the other stuff, which is Botox and fillers. But I like to go with, hey, let's fix your face. Let's get you on the right medical skincare. Okay. Like, let's actually.
Hey, by the way, let's go fix your face. Come on, let's go back.
Okay. Listen, how you walk around and how people see you in the morning. It's important.
It is.
If you want to sell and you want to be number one, okay.
How do we help the realtors change their pictures? They're 20 years old.
Okay, that's just it. You shouldn't be using your old pictures. You should fix your face. Fix your face, fix your body, fix your mind. Who we are on the outside is how we feel on the inside. And when we go out, we project that, right? We go out and if we don't wake up and put some makeup on and like put our best foot forward, then, you know, no one else is gonna want to use you, honestly. So I think it's so important, and
How could our agents use these as closing gifts?
let me tell you. So we actually do have a lot of
Because I
people.
mean, selling a home is stressful, right?
It is very stressful.
Buying a home is stressful, right? This
Right.
could be a great opportunity for you to think outside the box. Yes, we like to give away Cutco knives and we like to give away
Yes.
chopping boards, all that stuff, but imagine being able to say, hey, listen, I know this was really stressful. Let me treat you, right? That'd be.
Yes, and a lot of agents are doing that. And what we're doing is we add 20% onto your card.
Oh, wow.
So if you get $100 card, we're gonna give you like 125 or whatever.
Okay.
And so we do that. A lot of my agents in my office do that. And I'm super thankful for all the agent support. I literally would not have made it in business 1 year if it wasn't for my agents. And that is 100% truth. Probably 35% of my spa is agents. And I literally feel like I'm building it for them. And what I also did is I built a membership program where if you don't lose it, you don't use it. So it's $150 a month. I give you a free radio frequency or a free cryo or a free dermaplane, so you can try us out once you sign up. You get 10% off of everything else. And anytime I have a special or anytime I have an appointment, you're going to get another percentage off. You get percentages off of everything all the time. And then I also, all my agents that have supported me, whenever I get a new machine in or we're having a training, I'll call you up and say, hey, you know what? You're part of my club. Do you want to come and try this new treatment? Like I'm just buying a $180,000 laser this week. And by the way, I did this all through real estate. I'm single. I don't get any alimony, no child support. I've been doing this for 8 years and it's all real estate. So what you're doing right now, if you just build your business, and my business is no different. This business is the people business. That's what y'all are in. You are literally selling yourself. So you've got to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, nobody else is going to do it.
Right, guys. I mean, it's why athletes take time off, right? You gotta rest, okay? We are going into a very challenging market. And if you're not taking time for yourself, you're not gonna be the best self for your clients.
Right. And so,
Gotta take care of yourself.
yeah, you've got to take care of yourself, and every day, you know, build your gratitude list of what you're thankful for, and reach back out to those clients that you've sold houses to. That's how I built my business, and that's how I'm building my med spa. Every single person that walks in my spa, I do my due diligence. I find out who they are, who they're married to, how many kids. I got it in a file. And you know what? When they come in, I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much for coming into my business. Thank you for supporting me. And that's what you got to do with every single one of your clients. It's personal interaction. And if you do that and you wake up in the morning and you put your makeup on and you get your hair done, don't look at mine. I was in a convertible driving 100 miles an hour to get here. But so it's a little mess. Okay? But the point is,
How can everybody reach you?
So our office number is 770-250-6000.
Okay.
And that's Amanda's number. She's my, yeah, it's,
It's 8321, but I can correct it back in.
well, what I'll do is I'm gonna give everybody a gift card today. I'm gonna pass them around.
Okay.
It's $50 off for you to come in and try
Wow,
us.
look at that.
And come in and try us. We have injectable days, a couple days a week. So if you wanna,
I'm talking about Oprah, like everybody gets free stuff.
Yes, 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 king and queen. Come see me.
Like, Jesus.
Come on.
$50 away to everybody. My goodness.
I really hope that y'all are gonna all start self-caring.
I didn't do anything. I've been a realtor for 15 years. I'm licensed in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina. And I'll tell you something, go do that too.
So I'm just.
Go make your referral money.
Is your the number one qualifier, is your spa bougie?
Oh, that's not just bougie, it's fantastic. I mean, I'm gonna tell you,
Thank you.
if you're gonna go somewhere, why don't you go somewhere that you feel good at? And it's all about people. It's the way you're treated, right? It's how people are going to personally connect. Listen, I'm telling you, whatever you want when you come in, y'all are like the king and the queens. I will take care of you.
Well, let's give a big round of applause to Amanda. Guys, quiet down. I think they're giving away something else. There's more free stuff. Hold on.
Oh, yes, there's a drawing, and you're drawing today for a free hydrofacial. So, which is the 300.
That is mine, you guys.
So. Fill out the card.
Fill out the card in the back, hydrofacial.
A hydrofacial, and then also I'm doing a radio frequency. You say, what is radio frequency, you say? Well,
What is radio
I can
frequency,
say
you
like
say?
your Turkey gaggle, okay?
Okay.
You got a turkey gaggle, if you turn on the side, your side profile, I got a little one. I can radio frequency off, I could do your arms, we could do your legs. We can do whatever you want to do.
I love that. Thank you. One more big round of applause for Amanda and. All right, guys, everybody's so excited about these. Is that it, right? Like, I mean, should we, we're talking about shifting market. You're gonna wait. Jesus. All right, guys, so raise your hand if you need more listings. Raise your hand if you need more listings. What about more buyer contracts? All right, Aubrey used to go over this a lot. I want to really focus on this today. These are the tools that can help us win more deals, right? How many people in the room have a buyer that have been beat out by a cash offer? Only just me, right? And our team. Homeward is a great opportunity, right? Your buyer can get qualified with Homeward and they can buy in cash before they sell. By the way, all these links and tools are going to be online. Raven sends this out at the end, so you can always go there. Knock, another great opportunity there. Buy before you sell, right? How many people have a seller right now that says, I can't sell because I don't know where I'm going to go? Right? How many people have a seller that says, I can't buy before I sell first? I call that the Chinese finger trap. Like, what do you do? Like every time you do something, it's not right. Knock gives a solution to that, right? You can actually go out and buy before you sell. Raise your hand if you've got 10, 15, 20 buyers, or you can't get to a home fast enough. Right? Key please, leverage, guys. We have a whole list of agents, right? That'll go out and unlock lockboxes for a flat fee. Keller offers, you can offer almost any home. Our team, Team Kimberley, we actually get our sellers to sign that every single time so that we can get them an offer on their home. Imagine being able to walk into every listing presentation and say, I have an offer for your house right now. Would you like to look at it? Keller offers can help you with that, all right? Keller Ready to Sell, that's like a concierge program. As we're moving into a shifting market, and we're going to talk about it in a few minutes, you're going to start seeing that we're going to have to start doing more for our sellers than we've ever had to do. We used to walk into a house and they say, what do you want? You close your eyes and you say, just write it down. I'm okay with that, right? You don't even care what the price is. You just want the listing. Now we're starting to move to a market where you're going to start people having to do renovations. You're going to start have to advising your clients on doing some staging. This is coming, guys, and we've got to start getting ready for this. Keller Ready to Sell. What if the seller doesn't have the cash and all of their cash is locked up in the equity of their home? Keller Ready to Sell, right? Can help the clients get the funds they need so they can upgrade their home in the short term and then sell it to maximize profit. Hey guys, Keller Mortgage, right? Another partner, which is zero fees, no appraisal, and $1,000 credit. And then below that, you have Bank Shot. Has anybody ever asked their clients to drive all the way to the office to drop off commission checks? Yeah, now we have a great solution to that. Bank Shot in earnest, you can just log on and they can actually do that digitally, all right? Anybody have any questions about these tools that can help us succeed? All right, good. I'm gonna lean on my diversity chair for the ALC. Everybody give a big round of applause to Joycelyn.
Got this inside of your email. Today we have voices over at the North Atlanta office.
It's gonna be powerful.
It is going to be so powerful. We're going to have some very open and transparent conversations. So come, listen, and hear what we're doing inside of the KW offices. Gary Keller has put in place where we're going to be the only company that has a designation called Agent of Distinction, which basically talks about how we embrace all diversity. So this is going to be a great opportunity. Come out here, listen, ask questions, and everything that we do, if it's a safe space for you to be heard. So come out on today.
We got a huge panel too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 5780 Windward Parkway, Alpharetta. If you don't know how to get there, put it in Google. What we put on our listings now. We're gonna put the right. Do you guys remember when you actually had to write out the directions on FMLS? And now it's like see Google or see MapQuest, right? It's like, can they take that box off of FMLS? You know?
Oh, and that time is wrong. We're not gonna be there at 5 o'clock.
Okay, not gonna be there at 5 o'clock.
3:30.
And we're gonna accelerate through this so that we can give everybody time to eat, right?
Right.
And get over there because I know it's right there. Huge opportunity, right? This Thursday, we're gonna be having the MREA roundtable. We have got Andy's gonna be hosting it, Susan Lombardo, myself, and then Andrew Peters is also gonna be there. And we're gonna be going over some things that will help us in the shifting market, okay? Again, guys, we are in a shift. If you're not feeling it, it's coming. That makes sense? So we're gonna be doing that. That's gonna be Thursday. There will be a Zoom link. That's gonna be from 9 to 10 a.m. You don't want to miss that, right? That's over $4 to $5 million in commissions a year are gonna be on that call. So it could be a great opportunity for you to learn what's going on.
What's the time, Dustin?
It's gonna be from 9 to 10 a.m. Yeah.
Is that only in, on Zoom or is it?
There's a Zoom link. I'm not sure. Alex? I have no idea.
I think it's on Zoom.
I think it's on Zoom. Everything about it seems to be on Zoom. Okay, all right, so it's all on Zoom. But guys, great opportunity.
This gets sent out.
Yep.
At the end to like Melody sends it out or Raven sends it out, and then you can click the Zoom link.
Perfect.
All the slides come out. But I'm sure they'll also send out like that one, your weekly emails, they'll send out a link as well.
Guys, this is huge. If you are not digging in right now, if you are not trying to find every room you can be in to figure out what's going on and how to get where we're going, start today. The market is moving so fast in different directions. The more classes that you go to, the better opportunity you have to pivot and shift with it. Okay, guys? Anything you can get into, right? Get into the room. Double down on your education today. Upcoming events, May Tech, we've got Leanne's Lucala. That's going to be, looks like she's got 3 in person, 14th, 22nd, and 29th. This is only for new agents within a year, and it's to help them there. We've got Kelly Lakinda is going to be doing Thursday from 10 to 11, right after the MREA roundtable. If you've got questions about HVAC inspections, right, as you told me, it'd be a great time to hop on there and get something out of that. Then we're gonna have Laura Carrillo and Jake are gonna give a contract to close, breaking that down. If you are a newer agent, I would super recommend that you go to that. Knowing what's happening behind the scenes, these guys work really hard. And they're also gonna be here to educate you on what does that look like from contract to close. Once you get that buyer or that seller under contract, what do? Right? They're gonna be walking you through that process as well. Referral giveaway. Raise your hand if you'd like to get a Peloton, a MacBook, or a stay at that place in the picture I don't know about. Not sure. Electricity, right? So we've got a referral giveaway program. I'm going to go over it, okay? We've extended this through June of 2022. All right. The goal is for us to help you build your downline. Raise your hand if you have somebody in your downline. Raise your hand if you want more people in your downline. Man, this again. All right, raise both hands in the air if you're in the room. All right, good. I just want to make sure everybody's here. What is this? Like, here. No, this is a great way for us to build our downline, guys. How can we do that? You have to make an introduction to the team leader or the assistant team leader, a warm introduction, guys. You can't just send a list of people. All right, so we're going to be making a 3-way introduction to an agent and a team leader. It could be a group text, could be a group email, a social media, or it doesn't matter. It could be face-to-face, all right? The higher producing agent that you refer, the more actual entries that you get. This is also a great way to build your further downline. Have you guys ever talked to someone that isn't licensed, but you think would make a great realtor? Let's get them in the K-Score program, right? It's a free real estate school that Andy with Georgia Legacy Group, they bought a real estate school so that we can start putting people in that and helping them towards getting their license, right? So how do you win, right? An introduction to a new agent that's done 0 deals, you get 1 entry, okay? An introduction to an agent that's done 1 to 7, you get 2 or you get 3 entries, okay? And +3 if they join prior to the drawing submission cutoff date, which is June 22nd. June, the end of June, yes. And then the last one, which you get the most for, is 8+ sales. People do not have their license that you put in K-score. You don't get credit for those. We do want someone that is licensed in Georgia that count from coming to one of our GLG offices. Any questions around this?
Can it be any office? It can be any of the 3, right?
Yes, that's correct. An agent must be looking at joining one of our GLG offices. Yep. Any other questions around that? Has anybody submitted one to this? Anybody like submitted the referral?
I will today.
There it is. All right, good. Market update, okay? Raise your hand if the market's a little challenging today than it was 60 days ago. Yeah, I'd say so. So let's go through that, right? So active 1,811. Remember, guys, when this is done, there's an editable format that goes out. Get this on your social media. Right now, it is your job to be the economist of choice for your clients. They've got questions about the stock market. They've got questions about interest rate. They've got questions right now about home prices and where are we going? Be the economist of choice for your clients. Right now might not be the best time for them to buy or sell, but it is the right time for you to talk to them about what's going on in the market. Does that make sense? 1,084 pending over the last week, 1,994. So how does this compare? What do you guys see? Yeah. Look at the pendings. Pendings seem to be taking a little bit of a dip here. What does that mean, guys? Let's talk through this.
Probably graduation.
Okay, that's great. She says graduation. What else?
They're seeing younger.
Huh?
They're seeing younger.
Yeah.
That's possible too. I would say the summer break and graduations right now, unless they see what
Yeah.
July does.
Mm-hmm.
Still more active than we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
True.
Do you guys see inventory going up? I mean, I see it going up a little bit here, but like, are you feeling it out there?
Yes, see more signs.
Yeah.
More
Okay.
for sale by owners.
More for sale by owners.
Yes.
Okay. So historically, over the last 2 years, for sale by owners haven't really been out there. Well, they have, but they sell so fast, right? Okay. So for sale by owners are popping back up.
So now it's fine.
And they're lasting longer.
And they're last, okay, all right.
Crystal, excuse me, where are you seeing more for sale by owners? Like what area?
Online.
Okay, so not like a specific.
No, not specific, just more available, so.
Yeah. So more, has anybody been holding open houses over the past 2 weekends? What are you guys seeing out there with those compared to 4 or 5 months prior? You guys hear that?
Yeah.
Speak up, Chris.
Way less traffic where our properties were getting 10 to 20, 30 groups come through. I think Melissa and I, we had what, 4?
3, 4.
How many people would you have had through that open house, Chris, 60 days ago?
60 days ago, it would have been nonstop.
Nonstop. Give me a number. Compare.
We had people waiting out. We probably do about 40 people, 40 groups.
So 40 down to 4.
So 3. She said 3.
Yeah, it was 3.
Wow. Guys, things started to slow. Gary's always said, right? The first indicator of a slowing market is lack of traffic in your open house, right? That's where you can see it way down the line and where it's coming to. How many people are here are seeing less multiple offers on their properties? Yep.
Instead of 40, maybe 10.
It takes more.
Yep. So let me ask you a question then, Roxy, right? Compared to what we were doing, how might you guide a seller when going to the market today versus 60 days ago on how the process is going to go?
Well, being upfront with them.
Yeah.
About, we might see multiple offers, but it's not going to be like your neighbor just had, 6 to 8 weeks ago.
But we're not going to get 12 offers like the neighbor did last month?
Possibly not.
Yeah.
I'd rather beat their expectations
Mhm.
or exceed what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And also pricing it.
Yeah. Unpack
we're
that
not-
just a little
We're
bit.
not chasing the market. We're not at that point now.
No.
We're seeing prices going down, but
Right.
that's another discussion.
When's the last time you did a price reduction, Roxy?
Uh,
Just think about it.
Well, actually, probably 4 or 5 weeks ago.
And before that, How long do you think it was?
Never.
Yeah.
I can't even remember.
Right? We're gonna talk about that today, guys. We've got to start, I mean, go in your office, go online, dust off that price reduction script, because it is coming, right? And when it gets here, if you haven't trained around it and coached around it, you're not gonna be the best choice for your clients. We gotta get prepared for that right now. Okay, guys? I think Redfin put a report out, what was it, like 18 to 20% of all homes across the US in the month of May had a price reduction. That's a humongous number, guys. Okay. Anything else here, guys? You see anything else that we're not seeing? Anybody?
It's still a strong seller's market, although it's still a strong seller's market.
Yep. Are you guys
It's gonna be
seeing?
more like 2017, 2018 versus 2021.
Are you starting to see? Are you guys starting to see appraisals and financing showing back up? Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like our traditional buyers are on a terms level, maybe not interest rates. Okay. Are able to be more competitive right now on terms. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay.
But something to take into consideration was, it's still a seller's market, but like we were talking about pricing. The thing that we're not seeing a huge gap is the appraisal gaps. So when people are pricing, looking at these comps. And 3 months ago, it sold for $100,000 over ask. It didn't need to raise for that. So that when we're coming in, how are we gonna have these conversations showing that difference that's no longer really there? Because the appraised value, say 500, sold for 700 because someone from California did $200,000 appraisal here, something crazy insane. So I think that's one of the things that people gotta take into consideration is being able to have that dialogue. Like Roxy said, setting the upfront expectation, and that's why people are having price reductions because they're not pricing correctly. They're just looking at what the comps are, thinking that's what it's gonna be.
You look
Not
at the
taking into
windshield
account
of the
the
rear
appraisal.
Right. So what I'm hearing here for everybody, Chris, is that we can't be pricing last month's prices, right? We got to price where it's going, not where it's been. And I think Gary's always said, right? Don't skate to the puck, skate where it's going. Did I get that right? I don't know if I got it. Wayne, well, Gary, Wayne, all of them, right? The market's shifting. I have a question, and I want a lot of like involvement here. How are you guys handling right now? And I'm curious, how are you guys handling the tough conversations around interest rates with active buyers?
We can have 100% of rent.
Okay.
Or you can still stay with historically low.
Okay.
Rates of 6%.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Anything? I mean, what are you doing right now to keep your buyers engaged? You know, if I'm a buyer and I'm staring down the barrel of a 6% interest rate, like that's a lot. Like, how do you keep me motivated to continue to want to buy a home? Roxy?
Well, a lot of the buyers that I gave permission to the end of last year and the first quarter of this year of saying it's causing, you're having relationship problems. I can see it between the two of you.
Oh, interesting.
It's okay. Now's not the time for you to buy a house.
Wow.
Especially.
So you're letting buyers wait?
I'm giving them permission to wait.
That's
Now,
awesome.
those are the ones that I'm back out showing and they don't care anything about the interest rates.
Yeah.
They're just glad they have an opportunity to make an offer on a house.
So people are still buying.
And have some fun and buy instead of before.
Right. And rates aren't this way permanently, guys. I mean, if you really consider it, right now we have terms showing back up, which means that now buyers can actually get an appraisal. They can get an inspection. They can do all the things they want to do. We're really not, it's not 6% forever, guys. I mean, it might be a year, it might be 2 years, it might be a year and a half, but a refinance market is coming. It is coming big time, right? And when rates go back down, you're going to see all of these people that got into a 6, a 5, a 6, 6.5, I've heard, they're going to be refining out. So what you need to be doing is you need to be breaking down what is the difference. We've all seen that the price of a mortgage has gone up 40% in the past 90 days, right? So if a mortgage was around 2,000, now it's in that 2,800 range. That's a huge increase. But what does that mean, right? So let's say, for example, Spencer is buying a house and that difference is $800 a month. Well, Spencer as a consumer might be looking at it and saying, I don't want 6%. Oh, because he's thinking as a consumer 30 years. But how many of your clients actually keep their homes for 30 years in their mortgages? They don't. They refi out with the rate market. So what does that mean, right? Hey, Spencer, did you know you're really only paying an additional $9,600 to get this home? And when rates go down a little bit, we can refinance you. Wouldn't that be great?
Sounds fantastic.
Then you go over here to her rental proposition and you say, well, if we rent Spencer, this is what this looks like. You're gonna pay somebody else 40 grand.
You get no equity.
That's exactly right. And you might not have a house because we don't know if this crazy multiple offer market's gonna shift. Does that make sense? Which we did. So you gotta break down, it's not 6% forever, guys. Keep giving them hope. It's for a short period of time. Corey, and then
So what I've heard is 5 or 6% is that's like a regular. market.
Correct.
Because we've had, below 5%.
Sure.
For quite some time and
Yeah.
been very low.
Yeah.
So the people who, because it's been several years now, so people are, I think have gotten used to that and they think this is normal, this
Yeah.
is great. So, I'm reluctant actually to promise that they could refinance down from a 6 or 5, because I can't promise that. I don't know, I'm not a mortgage person.
no, but as an economist, right, you have fundamental influences in the economy that says that at some point, right, in the future, sometime, I'm not saying absolute, because inflation's got to get under control. The Fed's just raised rates 75 basis points. They're most likely going to do it again in July. Okay, but they're trying to get a hold of inflation, and once you get a hold of inflation, then interest rates will fall suit right behind it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I would also say.
Because I mean, guys, look at it this way. Look at it this way, right? If inflation is 8.6%, there is a real bona fide investor behind every mortgage. It could be grandma and grandpa's 401k. It could be something. Banks aren't lending out nobody's money. It's somebody's money. So if inflation is 8.6% and we're lending out at a 5 to 6% rate, we're building in an automatic 2.6% loss. Think about that for a second, right? So once inflation starts to come down, that lending rate will fall suit, because then you'll get a competitive market around lenders, because some of them will be like, oh, I'm staying at 6. Well, then, Nicole over here is offering me the same mortgage at 4. So we go with her, and then you get competitive with those rates. Does that make sense? So no, you don't want to absolutely promise, but history leaves clues here, right? And economic influences say that it has to, at some point, right, find some level of equilibrium. Does that make
But
sense?
if they do want to buy, I'd also say, do it now, because it's a fast moving train and.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nicole, Roxy, Chris.
2 things, piggyback on what you just said, Corey. Even though you don't want to necessarily promise, because you don't know, you don't have a crystal ball, it's in the shop, right? So you don't know when rates are gonna come down, but you do know historically that things appreciate. So let's say your people only put down 5%. You still need to be in contact with them, because when it comes to 20%, the lender's not gonna tell them, hey, you might want to refi and take this PMI out. So that's how you stay in the game. And then that time you'll tell them the rates are different or not. Now, what I'm gonna say is, what we can say to our clients is, you don't live.
Tell them.
Oh, you live in your monthly payments. People are thinking, well, I'm selling at 300,000, but I have to go to 5 or 6. When you take that equity and put it down, you live in a monthly payment. What are you comfortable with? Because by the time you do the down payment and the interest rate, you're right back at what they're comfortable in paying. So get them out of how much everything's
Well, I think also it
appreciated.
comes back to, guys, focus on the motivated, right? That is incredibly key. We have all, including us, right, have lost sight of what a real seller looks like. It's like, oh, why are you selling? I don't know, the market looks good. Oh, that's not real. Well, that's okay. Right? And it was okay, and we kept getting away with it. You can't get away with that anymore. If they don't have a real reason to be selling, you're going to eventually spin your wheels. The market's doing this, their expectations are doing this. It's going to get wider as the day is long. That makes sense, guys? One more fact that I will tell you that you guys are all going to get excited about. It may be short term, I don't know about long term. I've got some really big relationships with Tiber, Open Door, as well as Progress Residential, which are some of the biggest iBuyers in the United States of America. Okay. Does anybody feel the pressures from losing deals to cash hedge funds by chance? Yeah. All 3 have officially paused their buying currently. That's yep. We just got notification. Kelly and our team also helped out with that, getting that information. They've officially paused buying. I'll give you another example. We had one that Open Door offered to buy. They came out with a preliminary offer of $370,000. after they did their inspection, which most of the time they don't come off of that off. They typically stay pretty true. And typically they're paying 90–95% of market, which has been a competition for our existing traditional buyers. They came back with a renegotiated offer of $290,000. They are feeling it, guys. The rates aren't just affecting our buyers, they're affecting our buyers' competition. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, the hedge funds are pausing. Now's our time. We're gonna get terms, we're gonna get appraisal, we're gonna get financing. Let's go. We don't know how long this is gonna last. Any questions around that? That should be great news. All right, cool. You can get a copy of that next. Okay, party chatter, how's the market, right? So current average list price to sold price ratio for detached homes is 101.4%. Guys, that's coming down, right? We're seeing that come down. And for those of you that have only been in the business around 2 years, see, Spencer, for those of you that have only been in the business for the last 2 years, believe it or not, sales prices do go below 100%. Right, right? Like they actually go below 100. I don't know if you guys know that, but there is something, right, where it goes below 100. Another thing that you can start expecting to see over the next 6 to 12 months, right? Don't be surprised if you start seeing a little uptick in the distressed properties. In a healthy market, it's 6 to 7%. What is a distressed property? Could be an estate sale, right? Distress doesn't mean you can't afford it only. Distress also can mean that it's an estate sale, right? It could be a foreclosure, okay? Distress means that they sell it at a lower price for cash and speed, right? Right now, it's 0.8. It's not even 1% of distressed properties because there's a ton of buyers in the market right now. I would expect to see that get into the 3 to 4% range over the next year, okay? 65% of listings overall sold at above list price. I think that's going down, don't you guys? That seems like it's going down. What do you think?
For sure. I mean, I think it had to be closer to 75–80% before.
Yeah, I think so, guys. We're moving into a normal market, guys. I mean, that's the fun part about it, is this is what normal kind of feels like, okay? Median days on market is 10 for detached homes. That is going up. There's currently 1 month of supply of listings for detached homes. Again, that is going up. Be prepared for your buyers to be a smidge more patient right now because there is more inventory coming on. So by the time you get them to show the house, there's another house for them to see. They may be wanting to wait for the right. You might start hearing things like, we want to wait for the right house because interest rates are high and there's more inventory. Average sales price of detached homes is $423,000. Isn't that amazing? Like, wow. We are just, talk about gratitude, okay? We are so fortunate to be in a market where that is an average sales price right there. That's incredible. And then
Dustin.
Yes.
It's Westland. How are you?
I'm good. Social media star.
No, tell me that's gonna change, man. You're talking about gratitude, but man, it is hard for some first-time home buyers to be told 500,000 doesn't get you anything.
It's tough.
Tell me we're gonna see that go down. We've got to.
We're gonna see. I think we're gonna see it soften, but guys, you know, we're in a market where there used to be an old term, right, called drive till you qualify. Right? Those of you who've been in business for a while is, you know, you get in your car and you keep driving down the highway until you qualify for something, right? It's called drive till you qualify. Yeah, it's called drive. So that's right. Eventually you're going to get to a place where the land is cheaper and the houses are affordable. So, you know, I don't necessarily see a huge drop. I do think that we have a need for more affordable housing. But I don't have a solution to that. Does anybody else?
No, we're just gonna be more like.
Yeah, and that's what we're gonna say, compared to other states, this is such an affordable place. I was just looking at my previous sales in Nevada and California, and I was just blown away just at my sales price here.
So what was your average sales price there?
6, 7s, 8s.
Okay, and what's your average sales price here?
In the 3s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh. You know, just seeing that was just like.
Yeah.
I have a question, Dustin. With people for like investors that are gonna buy, I guess, average sales price for an investment, And they're concerned about a recession happening next year because of the inflation, like I said, it's at 8%. How do you think that we should address the concern in regards to, as you stated, inflation being at 8, and there's like a 2.5% inflation gap in between time?
So if I'm hearing you correctly, right, it's like, how do you coach your investors on continually buying more deals?
Right, or even if it's like their first property and they just sold a home and they got all this equity, like, oh my God, I want to.
I think it goes back to what Roxy said, right? You got to give not just your traditional buyers, but you got to give your investors permission not to buy right now. I mean, when the biggest hedge funds in the country have stopped buying homes, we probably should notice, right? So if we're coaching our investors, I mean, I can tell you right now, the cash flow yields out there for investment properties. I personally am not a buyer for a rental property right now. I mean, rates are 6%, that eats into your return. Be the economist of choice for your investors, because I can tell you right now, if you walk up to them and say, hey, listen, we shouldn't buy this because it doesn't make sense, that's a client for life. Whereas you go out and say, you know what, buy it because I need the commission. And they're not even servicing the mortgage. Nobody wants to buy a property and have to feed it, right? Capital, does that make sense? Don't be afraid to be in the market of the moment, but that's where being diverse and having diverse level of sources is really impactful, because today's investor is tomorrow's FSBO, and tomorrow's FSBO is yesterday's expired, and yesterday's expired might be tomorrow's circle prospecting, right? As the market moves, shifts, and changes, different sources respond differently. I'll tell you right now, 2013, 14, 15, Roxy, was an investor heyday. People were picking up stuff left and right, weren't they? Now may not be the time. Any other questions there? When I wrote this, I didn't realize the font was so small, everybody. So you're just gonna have to trust me when it says. All right, so we're gonna talk about a shifting market here, okay? And we're gonna take about 5 minutes. We got 3 slides and then we'll wrap stuff up here. Raise your hand if you've read the book Shift. Okay, good. All right. Raise your hand if you've been through a shift. Okay. So tell me about your experience, Fiona.
Mine too, 2008, 9, 10.
Okay.
Not nice. Lots of short sales.
Okay.
I was a compliance broker with Solid Source.
Okay.
So I was over 1,500 agents.
Wow.
And I had to review the contracts too.
Okay.
And I would think about 85% of the contracts at that time were short sales.
Wow.
It was a living nightmare because of.
How'd you get through it though? Like how'd you weather it?
You know, it was the market we were in, so I got, you know, you
Shift.
just did.
Yeah.
You learned how to deal with short sales. I taught bukus of classes on short sales, the difference between a short sale and a foreclosure. We got in cahoots with the big boys at Bank of America because that was a huge issue.
So somebody had to do business.
Right. And
Somebody
we
did, right?
And we were still making money. We were still paying our bills.
Wow.
There was a lot of people who did silly stuff who are no longer in the business.
Yeah.
And, but it is a market. No one put a gun to my head, I swear, to say, go and sell houses.
But why didn't you just quit? Why didn't you just go get a job?
Because it's my damn job.
Yeah, guys.
It's my damn job.
Guys, as we move into a shift, right? As we move into a shift, we have to focus on putting in 2 times the results to get the same amount. So I'm going to say that again. And if you haven't wrote this down, write it down. If you do the same thing in a shift that you did 2 years ago, you will lose 40% of your business, 20 to 40% of your business. You cannot do the same thing moving forward. And I know this isn't a super fun topic, guys, but I want to be here in a year and be looking at all of your faces in here. And this is a real conversation that has to be had. What are some recession leading indicators? So all of this data here, we got from Gary's Top 100 Mastermind, right? Every month, the top 100 agents in the country get with Gary and mastermind around all of this stuff here. So these are all a lot of their points from that course in Austin. So what are some recession leading indicators for housing? Number 1, right? Fewer guests at open houses. I think you guys just heard that conversation earlier. We just had it, right? Number 2, lower number of offers compared to previous listings. I think we're seeing that right now, guys.
And more offers coming in at list price.
Yes. Yep, starting to see closing calls. Wow, that's just crazy.
Yes.
Whoa, there's closing calls? Holy smokes. Whew. That's what I'd like to see. Also, one other thing too, is it may be here to stay, but most likely you'll see earnest monies go back down, right, to that 1% range. Yeah, you'll probably see that as well. Last one, lower number of showings. Guys, these are leading indicators of what's coming. Pay attention to the signs. Don't be the person in 60 days and go, well, I guess we did it. No, that's not me. It's everyone, right? Pay attention to it. We don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Got that one right. What are some things that we have to do now that we didn't have to do before? Number 1, price reductions. Huh?
Staging's gonna be huge in my opinion.
Yeah, staging's gonna be huge, right? We're gonna have to do more. I know you're not gonna like to hear this. We're gonna have to do more for the same check. Which is what we used to have to do anyways, right? You're gonna have to do more. There's not gonna be the listed on a Wednesday, no showings until a Saturday, 48 offers on a Sunday, highest and best. We need your firstborn, we need your sky miles, right? We need, you know what, just throw in, you know, the dog too, right? Like we can't, that's not gonna be happening.
We did work. We did work.
That's right. How about number 2, pricing homes? Roxy just said this. Pricing homes where the market is going, not where it has been. That is crucial. And I will tell you the next 60, 90, 120 days, you're going to have to practice this conversation with each other first. Because if you haven't ever had it, or had it in a long time, it's a tough one. When I'm sitting at a dinner table with a seller and Roxy looks at me and goes, my neighbor just sold for 100,000 over, Chris. We want to list at 150,000 over. How do you get them past that conversation?
This is an ego because they want to be able to do it themselves too.
Traditionally, the media is 6 months behind what the real estate market is actually doing. And we're going to be all fighting this uphill battle. We have to be prepared. How do we get prepared? Market statistics. What's going on right now? Guys, when you're going on a listing presentation, pick up the phone and call the pendings in the neighborhood and talk to the agents. Hey, how many offers do you have? They'll tell you, it's okay. The good agents will be happy to. Well, we only have 2 offers. Because I walk in and I sit down with Colleen and I say, you want to list your home? She goes, yeah, my neighbor got 19 offers 60 days ago. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Colleen, but I talked to all 3 of the pendings in your neighborhood and they've only got 2 offers each.
Such a great point.
Exactly.
And
Roxy?
one other thing where a lot of buyers agents have messed up, in my opinion, in the past market, and really got to brush up on it now, is like Chris said, something says it sold for 600, of calling that agent and saying, what did it price for?
That's right.
It priced for 525.
Yep.
Well, that's where you're gonna have to start.
Yep.
The other thing I would say working on is honing in your systems on communicating with sellers.
Yes.
Since 2008, I remember we were carrying 38 to 40 listings.
That's
at a
it.
time, And
Yep.
you have them on the market for 6 months.
Yep.
You gotta say, yeah.
Well, and I'll add to that a couple different things, right? Is calling them every week. I know you haven't had to do that because like they sign a listing agreement and it's sold and you closed and you didn't have to do that. You know, the last 2 years it's been a market where you promise to do all these things and you have to do nothing because it sells. Right? We're moving back into that pattern where you have to call them weekly and give them an update, setting them up for price adjustments, price improvements, reminding them of their motivation when they get tired and weary and want to give up. That's what we're going back to. Get ready for it. And if you haven't or don't know how to have that conversation, any agent in this room would be happy to role play with you on that. Okay. Last one, suggesting painting and renovations to get more for the home and to be more competitive as inventory goes up, guys. Don't be afraid to say, you know, Chris, it's a great house and I think we can get 600, but you need to spend $5,000 painting. Yeah, but my neighbor sold as is with 48 offers. I talked to Colleen yesterday and she sold it 9 months ago. Well, I talked to Fiona, and Fiona painted her house and got lists and only had 2 offers. You you gotta show your clients where we're going. Because if you don't, they are going to blame you for not telling them.
So one of the things that I've had, and this is perfect for today, I have had so many conversations lately with my clients about, are we in a shifting market? Are we in a correcting market? And so I just put out a whole new newsletter based on correction. So the definition of a correction is a decline of 10% or greater in the price of any security or asset. So I want my clients to know, no, we're not in a correction currently. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't see what's going to happen in the future, but we're not in a correction right now, but we are in a shift. And so we're making some changes. We need to have these tough conversations again about what do we need to do to make that house list ready. Yes, we are going to have to start doing some staging and some repairs.
Start slowing the process down a little bit.
Absolutely, we're going to have to, like Dustin said, what a great point he made. Call those agents where you're getting ready to list and have those conversations. How many offers did you get? How many were over list price? And then share that. That's what makes us an expert in our market.
And take it one
This is what our
step.
folks need.
And take it one step further. The agent on the other end of the phone is also being armed with better opportunities to keep their seller engaged with their existing contract. If I'm a listing agent, and I get a call from Colleen that says, hey, I've got these houses going live on the market, and I know that my seller is getting weird about something or they're getting unsure. I'm calling that seller and saying, listen, there's 2 listings coming up. You don't want to miss this buyer. Sit tight.
I just lost a listing. They priced it, it's on the market. And I hate to say that I do this, but I do. So I'm going on there and looking at showing time every day to see how many showings they have.
Sure.
They have none. They overlisted by 100,000. They are offering the buyer's agent 2%, and they said the listing agent did it for 1.5%. I did not want that listing.
You don't want it when it
It's
comes
kind of
out.
like a second wife, right?
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's better to be a second wife or a second agent.
Oh, okay.
Because they're gonna learn from the first. I shared everything I could.
She's not wrong.
I'm not
I mean,
wrong.
and guys, she's not wrong. And in a shifting market, you can learn how to have the tough conversation now and win that listing. Or you don't have to learn how to do it. You can just list the home and then Colleen's gonna come in as number 2.
So here's something my husband said to me one day, because I wanted to be in a neighborhood really bad and I wanted this listing and it was overpriced. I had a conversation with him and he said, and this is for all of us. He said, Colleen, you don't need the practice.
Yep. That's right, guys. Don't be afraid to say
I don't
no.
need my name on a sign that's not gonna sell.
Yeah.
So even when you really need that business, don't be that agent.
And still be gracious, still
Yes.
send out your thank you card.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the opportunity,
Yeah.
because when you are the second one, now they're gonna be more reasonable. All the things that you suggested, now they're gonna do.
They're gonna do everything that
And
they
you're-
told the
and
other
you're
agent
building
no.
your credibility by sharing
Right.
with your clients. I'm so sorry. I wish you
So-
the best of luck.
So what can we do to hedge against the shifting market? If you've read Shift, this isn't unique. This is right out of the book, right? Number 1, get real, get right, guys. Okay, get your mind right. That's important. What goes on between these 2 ears is very important, right? Every day. And just like you have to double down on your efforts in the real estate market, you got to double down on efforts with your mindset training, right? Read more books, listen to more podcasts. You've got to be pouring into yourself 2 and 3 times more than you used to. Right? Number 2, remargin your business. We should be doing this every month, every quarter anyways, right? But manage your expenses tightly. Your lead gen budget will most likely go up because you have to spend more to get the same leads. But I will tell you right now, I don't know if it's on here or the next one, conversions are the battleground. I would write that down if you haven't already. Conversions will be the battleground. How you convert will be the beginning, the middle, and the end. Okay, we talk about leads, listing, leverage. Conversions will be the battleground. Do more with less. They say that shift is a gift because you reduce all these expenses. I've had it happen 2 or 3 times to me. Right? We're doing it right now, Alex and I. We're cutting our expenses by at least 20 to 25% over the next week. But you know what's funny? And I know Roxy probably experienced the same thing. You end up doing the same, if not more business with like half the expenses. And you look back and you're like, why did I have all that?
Because you could.
Because you have something called expense creep, right? It starts with a little subscription there and a little mailer for Colleen, right? And a little this, little that. Next thing you know, your expenses have doubled over the course of 6 months. Okay, reassess that. Find the motivator. We just talked about that with Roxy and Fiona, guys. An event, right, is what's driving people to sell something or buy something. Job relocate, death, divorce. Think of an event that's going on in someone's life. Find people with events. All right, because if you're dealing with someone that's money motivated and it's not, the money's not there, then we don't have a motivated client. Okay. Get to the table, master your conversions and conversations, guys. Right? Right now, we're having a tough conversations about pricing. Wait till we have a tough conversation when amendment to address concerns start going up, because that's coming. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, thanks for the inspection. We need $10,000 off the price.
He's on this 32 items.
Yeah, all right. Copy and paste the inspection report in the amendment. Those are my favorite. Don't abbreviate it. Just slap an exhibit on that thing and send it over, you know, like just sign here. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, would you build us a new house? Thank you. Right? And then help sellers adjust, guys. We don't personally have to be the expert. Let the market data do the talking. Pick out 1, 2, 3, or 4 facts of what's going on in the market. Share it with your clients. And it's also a great opportunity for you to get in front of that database. We should all be sending out, just like Colleen said, we should all be sending out a newsletter to our clients now that says, here's what's happening. Because they're going to walk into a dinner party and someone's going to say, hey, Roxy, how's the market? And you're like, well, actually, my realtor told me that, you know, X, Y, and Z. She's an expert because Colleen sent her that newsletter. All right. Fall. Is it peacetime or is it wartime in your business? Peacetime is when a business has a competitive advantage and its market is growing. Wartime is when a business is facing an immediate threat from a competitor and an economic climate or a major market shift. Are we in peacetime or wartime when it comes to your business right now?
I'm in wartime.
Wartime.
Peacetime and wartime are two different operations, guys. It's different. You've got to focus on what works right now. This isn't 6-month business. This isn't 12-month business. I'm not saying we should be abandoning that. But Warren Buffett says, rule number 1, stay in business. Rule number 2, see rule number 1. Right? Stay in business, guys. Because eventually the agent count will go down, the inventory count will go up. And that's when it really happens. If you've read Shift, there's a moment where that influx happens, and you just got to be here for it because it's marvelous, right? What does this mean? When we get a lead, we have to convert it because there are less of them. Conversions become the battleground. If you get a lead, speed to lead under 2 minutes, it will change your life. If you get to a lead outside of 2 minutes, your odds of converting it go down 90%. I listened to a panel one time with Mark Spain. He could not tell you how many listings they had. He could not tell you how many agents they had. He couldn't tell you anything. But when somebody asked, what is your speed to lead? He said 1 minute and 27 seconds. That's across 10,300 transactions in 2021. 1 minute and 23 seconds. He said, that's the one thing, right? We master that, we master everything else, right? Big actions will lead to a big outcome. How big is your box? How big are you willing to go in order to shift with this market, guys? Last thing, thinking shift. This is straight from Gary's playbook, right? Inflation, this is his prediction, Gary's state of the industry. If you don't agree with this, that's great. Call Gary. Right? I was very hesitant to put this up, but inflation and supply chain issues are causing the economy to be fragile. Guys, use this. This is great content for your clients. Okay. Most people are projecting that inflation will be reined in by the end of 2024. Inflation is like a big, long train. You can't just stop it on a dime. It takes a while. Okay. Get a grip on your expenses now. Don't wait. Throw everything out and get a grip now, as higher interest rates and inflation aren't really slowing people down yet. Again, it's a lag, right? You've got your buyers now that are slowing a little bit, but you're not going to start feeling it for 60 days. Get ahead of it right now. Because when other people are going, oh my God, what do? You're sitting there going, we're doing great, right? You're mowing, you know, you keep going, right? Interest rates will be 7 to 8%. This is Gary's prediction to stop inflation. Remember I told you guys that behind every mortgage is someone's actual money? Raise your hand if you would lend $1 million out to automatically lose 3% a year. See what I mean with inflation? All right, pay attention to it here. Okay, if you're average, giving average effort, you will see production drop by 20 to 40%. Make no mistake, and this is the one takeaway I want from everyone today. If you do what you've done, you will not get what you got. You will get 20 to 40% less. You have got to make a decision today to increase that effort immediately. And that's just to get what you got. That's not to get more. So if you did 20 deals last year, to do 20 deals, you have to give 120 to 140% effort. Not to do 25 deals, because then you have to put 150% effort, guys. Last thing, right? Or buckle up and go get your unfair share. That's what Gary calls it. Go get your unfair share. Go take market share. Now's the time to go produce. Now's the time to go take market share. Because there's some that won't, and there are those who will. And those who will are going to get their unfair share. Last thing, if inflation is prohibiting people from saving each month, ownership of homes and appreciation is hedging against inflation. Has anybody in the room lost money in their 401k? Right. But have you seen home prices come down below market price yet? Both are investments. See what's happening there? Hedge against inflation. Listings coming soon. Link there. Put all your listings coming soon going in there. Culture and mindset. And I'll leave you guys with this. The measure of your success in life is a direct relation to doing things that you don't want to do and know that you need to be doing. At each level of success, if you don't put forth a new level of renewed above average effort, you define your ceiling and begin a life of average. When you get to the next phase of your previous level of average is now your version of average. This effort at each level will make you average at each level until you put another set of above average effort. Guys, put in the extra effort to take your average to the next level. Any questions?
Yes, please. It's Precious. Am I hearing you say that we should not encourage our investors to buy now? And the follow-up question to that is, what do I say to my investor when he asks me how long do I wait? And the investor wants to invest now?
Well, I think that's a good question, and it should be based on the returns that they want to get. So I tell you what, why don't we talk after? I want everybody to have a great day.
Thank you.
We end on time?
You're good.
Good?
Yeah, you're good. They gotta go for the one.
All right, enjoy y'all's
No,
lunch.
you talk, yeah, he did talk.
Oh,
And then I get.
So, and it's been, it's interesting, right? Like another thing, coaching my agents on. So instead of having money, we got